Welcome back, everyone, to episode 7 of Let's Play Advanced Tactics Gold. Well, things are really heating up. I had a moment to think about what I wanted to do, and although it does look pretty bad, I don't think we're in as bad of a situation as I'm making it out to be, because we have very good defensive positions. A lot of these urban environments with our submachine gun groups well, should be in very good shape, because that's where they specialize in defending. And I've kind of mapped out what I think I should do as far as my free attacks go, my dive bombing and my artillery. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that first. I have transferred a few units from my Supreme HQ to the red and blue, just to get things sped up by a little bit. But I have decided already what I want to do for my artillery. I think the obvious choice for the red is just to use artillery on the two hexes which are closest to us. So let's just do it. Here we go with attack number 1. Now this will have some infantry gun 2s, which I don't think I'll be really affecting by that much, which is fine. We're going to do just some readiness damage and not really going to hurt their infantry gun 2s. So if they want, they'll probably have the option to bomb us next turn. But that's fine. There's nothing I can do about that. I was thinking of dive bombing this square and this square, but I think in the end I'm only going to dive bomb this more heavily populated square. And I'm going to do that because I want to protect this obvious weakness in the line. Now, I have created one more infantry group here. There it is. And I'm very impatient to get that out of there so I can have only 4 units in this hex so I don't have to scroll through all 5. When it's 4, you get the box layout, but I think as soon as 5, I thought it did 5 with 1 in the middle. I must have 6 here then. Well, I need to get 1 unit out for the little counters to spread out for me. Anyway, I'm going to wait and see how the bombardment of these two go to see whether this infantry should shift south or north. I don't know which area to protect, this armor or this armor. And I think based on what we already did, it's a safe bet I'll probably shift north, because even though I'm going to dive bomb these guys as well, I don't think they'll probably still be stronger than... Where are you? There you are. Than the unit in the south. Okay, so artillery first, and then we'll send one of our dive bombers from here in, and the other one will support the north. So wow, we really did not do much here. We didn't even lower it much as a percentage, maybe like 33%. So we killed 1 truck, that's it. Well, that's less than ideal. We certainly know where we're going to shift this guy now, such as move him north immediately. And that'll help steel up this line. I'm going to be doing a lot more of that. I want my armor to now just be breakthrough units and not holding the line units. Okay, so let's use one of our dive bombers to attack this hex, because I know I absolutely have to do that. We have to get rid of some of their combat capability. And if I happen to get the infantry guns too, that would be really nice. Not bad, I killed their trucks instead of the infantry guns or armored cars, but there's only 2 alive of each, and I'm sure they took some damage, so let's just see what it looks like now. 2 armored cars basically out of condition, and 2 infantry guns, very, very low readiness. Excellent. Okay. That means that we have definitely, although there are some targets down here with armored cars, where was it, 2? I thought there was one with 4. I am mistaken. This is a huge, like 7 artillery here. That'd be really nice to dive bomb. But I need to dive bomb this guy. It has 10 armored cars and 120 infantry right at my front door. So I don't have any infantry supporting this hex. This is just armored holding the line. And that's not ideal, especially because there's already 2 infantry units ready to go. I might try to move one of my infantry units down there even. This one can't make it though, I know he can't. And this guy can't either, I know. So it's a good thing I built this backup road, by the way. If you remember back in the original episode, the only road between these was this one. And I built this kind of like emergency supply road. I'm very, very grateful for it now, because it is truly the only thing keeping us in supply. Alright, now up top, it's just obvious. There's 3 massively overstacked hexes, and I have 3 artillery. So we're just going to attack each one with each artillery. We'll see if we get any work done. Not a whole lot here. Lowered their readiness pretty substantially, but only killed 5. Okay. Well, we'll have to be okay with that. I will dive bomb this hex because they still have 7 armored cars there. And they... Yeah. Okay, so next square, next artillery attack. Let's see how we do in this one. So this one doesn't have a whole lot of armored cars, so might not need as much of a dive bombing run. However, I think we didn't really affect their infantry guns very much. Oh, 52, that's okay. 40, that's good. 2 armored cars there. Okay, what that might not need. Their attacking options are very limited. If they attack over into this suburban hex, they're going to be crossing a stream, so they'll have a penalty. That's in addition to the penalty they already have for attacking suburban. And I have some machine guns there. I'm also going to spread out some more machine guns before ending my turn. I'm trying to increase my city guard to 16 machine guns instead of just 14. Although I don't really care, I might even turn off, see, when I minimize, when I zoom out, it zooms out too far, but I might turn off these guys as units. I might take them out of the model pool, just because I don't need them to be reinforced with machine guns for the time being. Although I don't think I have any machine gun guards over here. No, I don't. But that's fine. Yeah, the Chinese front is pretty poorly defended, but for good reason, man. I need all the forces over here. Okay, so let's just keep pushing this guy back. I think he can make it. Yep, there he goes. He can finally make it back into friendly territory, which is nice. So I'll probably just transfer him. As soon as he gets back to the road, I'll strategically transfer him all the way home. And I want this guy to be here. He's just going to defend against any kind of flanking maneuver into this plains spot, in which case I would have to attack, but that's fine for now. We'll leave him there. Okay, so now that we've done our artillery, we have one more, which is this massive hex of units. And we have one more artillery, so here we go. Let's attack. Wow, our artillery is actually killing the armored cars. That's very impressive. Not what I expected at all. This is what I was hoping for. They're just lowering the readiness, and killing 11 rifles is good. It's actually unnecessary because I'm still surely going to dive bomb this hex. These two still have way too much, so let's just get to the dive bombing now. Definitely want this one dive bombed. This is excellent. These follow-up attacks, if I do artillery and then dive bombing, seem to be very effective. It's like 17 rifles killed, 5 armored cars, 3 trucks, an infantry gun. Awesome. Lowering of readiness is... It seems like dive bombers are more effective at killing than lowering readiness. And I guess that makes sense. So now this group is pretty low readiness now. They were at 100, and now their readiness is like 50, 60. Pretty low. And that's what I want. This group, are you also going to be the victim of dive bombing? There's a lot of infantry guns here. 4 of them, and 2 armored cars. Quite a few trucks as well, though I don't really care about the trucks. What about this one? This one, an armored car and trucks, armored car. Yeah, lots of armored cars in this one, so I will definitely dive bomb this one. Let's just do that next. Yeah. We'll take this guy. And this is another follow-up, so hopefully I'll get a few infantry kills as well. Does look like looks like I did. 12 more rifle dead, and 7 armored cars, 3 trucks. Beautiful. And this is why I thought about it more off camera, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing so bad. I have so much free attack that if I can just keep wearing them down as they get to my front, eventually I should overwhelm them. We should be able to push back. Now, I still have these 2 dive bombers, and I saved one here. I don't think there's any reason for me to need to use the dive bombers in the south. It would be nice to destroy these infantry guns, but the readiness of the rifles are so low that I know they won't follow up with an attack from this group. Or will they? I know I need to attack this one with a dive bomber, and that would come from here. That's the only one that this unit could affect if I don't use them in the south. So let's figure out where the rest of these guys are going to go. Well, I know one of my I think 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I guess the debate is between using one dive bomber here, one dive bomber here, and one dive bomber here or here, or two here, and then a third one here. So we know one for sure is going to be here, so let's just do that. Oops. Not recon, we want a dive bomb. The recon, it gives you recon for that square, but it does cost action points just to go. So I'd prefer all those action points be used as combat rounds. Again, not very effective at lowering the readiness, but we did kill 5 armored cars, 2 trucks, and 9 rifles. That's pretty darn good. That's pretty darn good. And the readiness of the remaining armored cars is very low, which means these units won't have a lot of attack capability. I think I'm okay with just that. And that means I can destroy these infantry guns before they bombard me. Okay, I'm going to stick to this plan then. I'm going to still go after these guys. Okay, we got another armored car. Infantry guns, yes, excellent. That's exactly what I wanted. It's not a huge decrease in readiness, but those 2 infantry guns and the 2 that were left both retreated, so they won't have very many action points remaining. We won't have, oh yeah, 15 readiness, which means maybe 30 action points on the next turn. Okay, well, that's good. And I don't think I need to attack those guys, so we will go for these infantry guns in the south, just to keep shoring up the south. Actually, really, I have to consider, this is so massive, and there's reinforcements. What do I really want to do here? All my dive bombers in the north are used. Is this really the greatest threat? It's a tough decision. I don't like that they still have 75 readiness, though. So let's rough them up. The readiness is low, so I think that means I'll be able to actually hopefully kill more of the infantry. And I did kill the 2. Ah, that was good. I'm glad with that. I'm happy about that. We killed 2 infantry guns, so they have no more, and we did kill quite a few rifles as well. Alright, so that's all the free stuff we can do. I want these engineers where? I want to make sure I'm defending well any artillery and headquarters hexes. The question is, this one has submachine gun and more submachine gun and machine gun and the artillery. So it seems pretty well defended. This one only has 1 and then has armor, so it's not as well defended. Can this guy get all the way over there? He cannot. It's 130. I could shift forces or something. Maybe what I'll do is move the engineers here. I think that's what they have to do no matter what. Oh, yeah. I mean, we only have 1 guard defending this city. And they have over 100 rifles ready, although these guys are pretty well entrenched. So I think I'll... Oh yes, but I want the infantry... Okay, so I'm going to send the infantry... Not these guys, but these guys. I'm going to send these guys down here. And I'm going to use these guys to move in here. So the defense for this hex should be still pretty high, not just because I have the infantry here, but because this headquarters itself has a lot of units. 54 rifle, 10 submachine gun, 29. These will all be employed in combat. Okay. Well, good. I think that's what we wanted to accomplish for this. Whoops. So we can probably end this turn. I don't think... there it goes again. I don't think there's anything else we wanted to do. We already used all my railroad capacity, surprisingly. I have a ton normally, but there's only 50 row cap left. It started this turn with 36,000. And it is kind of the waiting game. We're a bit reactive right now since we're so much on the defensive. I think there's probably a more optimal way I could... Like, I don't really care if they breach through here. That's fine. That's why it's a weak point. But I do care a little bit if I mean, the good news, I built this secondary road, which also did not exist at the beginning of this game. So unless this gets cut off, the city, Kronak is supplied from the south, and Landsberg can be covered either from the east or the south. So I don't really need this unbroken line of road as I once originally did before this road was constructed. I just hope they don't push back all the way to here. I doubt they would. And I think if this guy retreats, he might. I don't know how the retreat works, but my guess is they retreat backwards along their supply route, which means that if this guy was attacked, he would pull into Landsberg, which would open up this road. Oh well, we'll just have to take a chance that that doesn't happen, and if it does, we'll counterattack with infantry next turn. So I'm going to go ahead and end this turn. Okay, yeah, but before I forget now, I'm going to upgrade my machine guns to machine gun 4s. And before I actually upgrade, I want to switch this model design to be City Guard are going to have 16 machine guns instead of 14. That's it, and now I want to manually transfer as much as I can to stiffen up these guys. So they have their 16. They have their 16. They have their 16. They have their 16. Is that all my city units? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think so. So now the same thing needs to occur in the south. And that only happens with the one city guard unit, so give them their 16. Good. And so we do have a little bit of, we have enough for another infantry unit here. It won't be able to move because I already brought in new machine guns and rifles, but let's just go ahead and create it now. Which is unfortunate. Now I'm back to the 6-stack situation. Alright, this is going to be another 40-20. Good. That'll just stay here for one turn. We'll move him out on the next. Whoops. No, not that guy. I want the machine gun. Where is he? There. This guy, switch over to machine gun infantry. Yeah, so we'll move him south to protect this armored unit. And that will mean that this entire front, except for this hex right here, is covered by infantry. I really need to do the same here. That's what this infantry is for. Okay. Can I do that with this guy as well? He has just enough machine guns, yeah. Let's do it, yeah. Okay, good. And you will also be machine gun infantry. And now, the last thing I want to do is, I did the actual research, so I need to do the upgrade. So go to Order of Battle, Auto Upgrade. My supply stockpile is currently at 6,200. And now it is at 2,200. So it cost about 4,000 supplies to get all my machine guns up and running, but now my machine guns are machine gun 4s. They don't lose any readiness for doing this, so if you do it at the end of your turn, it's fine. They just lose all their action points. But these machine gun 4s are, I mean, they're like 6/5 better? No, not that. Maybe I think actually, are they 20% better? Maybe. They're slightly better. Oh, let's just do the comparison real fast. Let me just pull up machine gun 3s. Okay, here we go. Combat. So hit points is the same. It's strange. But their attack is better. Okay, that's fine. So the attack looks like it's, yeah, 20% better. So they're 20% better on the attack. I'll take it. Good, that concludes this turn. Hopefully we can still squeeze out another turn. We're moving still a little bit slow, but that's fine. Let's see what the Germans do. Here we go. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy. They did attack. They attacked exactly where I feared they would, but the defenders held. That's amazing. Wow, so we lost 3 infantry and killed 50. Unbelievable. I'm not even sure how that's possible. Okay, let's just go to history real fast and just look at that one battle. So first, next regime, Das Reich. And I guess we'll skip through. No, they have 80 steps here, so let's just go to the next battle. Back up a few steps. So they brought in some troops, and then they did an attack. Wow, they had 5 armored cars and 96 rifles, and they lost 50. I suspect that they did this in an attack with low readiness units. I'm not sure what inspired them to do that, though. And although I lost units, I forgot how many rifles I lost already. What was it, 3? They've already been replenished because of the, the model design. If this is a certain model unit, your headquarters will automatically reinforce. So we can see, I think, that it has originally had 5,000 points, but at the beginning of this turn, before I did anything, it spent some of that land cap just to immediately reinforce this unit. And now this one's backed up to 93, or back up to 8. So beautiful. I like that system. It is nice. Okay, so it's going to be another question mark about what to do. I think we probably end up doing the same thing. It does look like it's very obvious what we're going to do here. We're going to artillery this group and then probably dive bomb them. So let's just start off with the artillery. Attack. Good. Basically just lowering their entrenchment and readiness. And now let's use our artillery. Let's see. 52. This is interesting. This is a fresher unit. What I'm looking at is the readiness of this rifle group is 100, and the readiness of these guys is 64 and 83. So although there's more here, these are more combat effective, but I think it should be okay because I have this new unit here which can move to defend this line here. Yeah, that's nice. So I think I'm just debating which unit to attack. I think I will use artillery on this group because I'm not as worried about this group attacking the city, which I don't want my cities attacked. So let's just use artillery on this guy. And since the readiness of these guys is lower, I think that means it's easier to kill them as well. Although, what was that, 11? Okay, not bad. We did lower their readiness. I think it's a very clear decision to get rid of these 4 infantry guns. And if I'm using that same logic, it probably means I'll attack these guys as well. Okay, so I'll just do dive bombing in the 2 places that are already attacked. It does seem more effective to get, once you pair the attacks like this, it seems like the dive bombers get a lot more done after they attack places that were already bombed by artillery. So good, all 4 infantry. Oh, they have 1 remaining, but that's fine. Let's do the same thing here. Go, 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 kill, kill, kill. Alright. Well, these guys definitely aren't going to be doing any attacking next turn. And because I've weakened both of these hexes, I don't think this unit will attack alone. If they do attack and they bring in any of these other units, they'll probably face the same situation they faced up here, where they're just really, really heavily repelled because they have such low readiness with their attack. So that's the south, which is like the easy mode. And now this guy, the absolute cluster foxtrot up here. Wow. There's a lot of legitimate targets for artillery up here, but I think I'm going to have to stick with the same kind of mentality to bomb the hexes which are overstacked. Unfortunately, I have what I perceive as 4 hexes which are overstacked, and I only have 3 artillery. Because I moved my artillery... Oh, well, that's kind of cool. I forgot that I do have a new artillery unit here. So let's get this guy into action immediately. And he can just bombard this guy to the south. Okay, he only has... He'll be able to get 7 combat rounds out of this. That's fine. I'm totally okay with... 7 is way better than nothing, so let's do it. Let's see what happens. Not much. We killed 1 unit. Okay, wow. Well, it's something. We lowered the readiness a little bit. Certainly less effective than I was hoping. Okay, now for... Because this unit is already weakened, I'm pretty sure this is the one that was engaged in the attack, and I don't see any of the other units. Maybe this was also another one engaged in the attack and they pulled it back. I think I will attack this hex with artillery because I have a greater chance. There's so many units here too, 80, 70, and 25. Yeah, let's do it. So this is one that's going to get the artillery. And it'll probably also get the dive bomber after that. I don't like seeing those infantry guns. Did not do too much though, huh? They do have 3 infantry guns, so probably worth... And 5 armor cars, so worth dive bombing. Let's just do it. And the follow-up attacks are usually pretty effective. Yeah, we are killing a bunch more infantry now. Okay, good. So we only left 1 infantry gun, and only killed 1 armor car. These units are just... They're out of the game for the next turn. If they choose to attack, they'll just suffer massive casualties. So we do want to dive bomb... Which one of these? 1 infantry gun, 2 infantry guns, 1 armored car. This one might not need to be dive bombed, to be honest. I might just artillery this one. Oh, I only have 2 artillery for these 3. And we are basically pressed for time. Well, I know I want to do artillery on this guy. I think what I'll do is I'll use just planes on this guy. And I'll bomb the other 2. I'm less concerned about my western flank. If they penetrate anywhere in the middle, that was pretty effective too. But if they penetrate any of these middle ones, I'm more in trouble. Okay, so that means that the rest of these are going to get the artillery. So if we do this quickly, hopefully I can finish this video before 30 minutes. Okay, we're doing some damage. Not bad. And let's do that here as well. Yeah, this one doesn't have a whole lot of infantry guns and armored cars. So we did air. We might as well do air on these 2 then, right? That would bring us to a close. Am I worried about this guy being taken? No, he's not part of the supply line anymore. But he is the artillery, which would not be good. But it's also pretty well defended. Yeah, I would say I'm okay. Yeah, I think I will defend this. Ah, gosh, it's so hard to say. Every one of these hexes needs to be protected in one way. I mean, I have airplanes, which is the most important thing in these guys. I don't have any of those here. I just have artillery, which, okay, is an easier thing to sacrifice. So let's just go for these guys then. They can double attack this city, so let's make sure that doesn't happen. Alright, killed 5 guns and 16 rifles. Excellent. Let's do the same thing here. Good. More deaths. So I think that will restrict these guys from being able to attack. It looked like they were trying to do some kind of attack on one of these cities. I hope that that has weakened these units to the point where they won't be able to attack, or at least they won't be able to attack effectively. I'd prefer not to lose artillery, and I definitely would prefer not to lose any city hexes, because then I lose all the fighters therein. Okay, so can this engineer unit make it down here? He can. So he'll be our mobile defense group. Actually, I can't move a regular infantry in. Let's move these guys here. It's pretty hard. This city is only attackable by 1 hex, and that one's not going to be easy to attack. So we just shift this guy down and shift this guy over. Oh, he doesn't have to... Shoot. Well, we'll have to shift this guy over then. Why can't these guys reach that hex? Move. 30, 60... Oh, the action points is 97. Wow, what a bummer. The only one who can reach that is the engineers. Well, that's fine. Go ahead and move in. We'll defend with whatever we need then. Which makes this hex pretty well defended. And that's good. Alright, well, that's what will conclude this episode. What I'm going to do is mess around, see if there's anything else I need to do for this turn. Set up any other production that I need. Probably transfer a lot of units around. I have some... I assume on a new turn I've got a whole bunch of these guys, light tanks, riflemen, machine gun, artillery. I'll push all those guys forward off camera, and then when I'm done I'll come back in just in time to end the turn so we can see what the Germans did. Alright, well, thanks for watching.